Hi, welcome to my channel. It's Cynthia Monet and we're back with another video. Y'all, today we're going to be talking about 4 things that has altered my reality. Now, if you work it, it's gonna work, okay? It's gonna work for you, all right? The 4 things that we're going to talk about, it has been a challenge. It's still gonna be a challenge to master, but I believe you can do it. If I can do it, girl, you can do it too, period. The 4 things that has altered my reality completely has been from this book called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. That's a long ass word name. But I am in love with this author, his work, not him. But anyways, this author also wrote The Mastery of Self. So you're really supposed to read the 4 agreements first and then Mastery of Self. And he has other books, but these are just the 2 that I've read so far. And with me reading just this book, it has literally completely changed my entire reality. Now, I'm talking about the way I think, my environment, the way I perceive things, the way I perceive people. I'm not gonna go by order, but the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. Now, some people might be like, I don't even know what impeccable means, girl. The definition of impeccable is to be free from fault and blame. So be impeccable with your word in this case means be 100% with what you say. Don't just say things just to say things. And actually think before you talk, because I don't know what you guys believe in, but I believe in words being spells. Words have a lot of power. Words hold a lot of power, especially coming from your mouth. Make sure what you say is you're gonna stand by it. 10 toes down. 10 toes down. Now that's like from making promises to just, like I said, the words you speak. You really want to speak from a place of positive energy, positive light. You really don't want to speak so much negative into the universe, because what you what you say is what you're going to attract. What you do is what you're going to attract. And it's easier said than done, because we say things all the time that we don't mean, right? But for instance, like I used to just say like random things, and I don't really mean them, but you know, like we say them. So I had to learn how to catch myself before I say things, and sometimes I still like come across myself saying things that I shouldn't say, saying things that we know may be a joking matter, but the universe doesn't know that you're joking. They're really black and white with them. Like if it's a negative thing, if it's a negative connotation, they're going to take it negatively. Even if you mean it as a joke, they don't know. Okay, the universe, the energy, the universe does not know that. It's either this or that. So you really have to be very careful with what you say and be impeccable with your word. Just don't say things just to say things. That is my spiel on the first agreement. Now, if you have read this book before or came across these agreements before, let me know down below what you think about this first agreement, because a lot of people have different como se dice, like meanings to things, and that's just what I took from it. So, second agreement. The second agreement is don't take anything personal. Oh my gosh. I love self-development books. If you ever catch me reading a book, it's mostly a self-development book of some sort, some kind. I started starting my healing journey about like 4 years ago now. It's been very difficult, and I've taken a lot of things personally. And one reason why I feel like the second agreement, or one of the agreements, is don't take anything personal, is because when you take things personally, you bring more turmoil into your life than it has to be, or that it needs to be. So like, for example, somebody not holding the door for you. You might want to go off or be like, oh my god, that's rude, whatever. This is my #1 thing. I always take this personally. And I'm still learning to not take it personally when somebody doesn't say excuse me in the store, or when somebody doesn't hold the door, because I just think it's so rude. But maybe they didn't see you. Maybe they just don't want to hold the door for you, which is fine. They're not obligated to hold the door for you, okay? And I always have to remind myself of that. Like, everyone isn't raised like you. Everyone doesn't have the same mannerisms as you. Like, you really have to be you have to breathe, you have to think, and then you have to act. But that's one of the main things that I always take personally. Or like, for instance, when somebody doesn't answer me back in a text, I used to always take it personally. And then me, I can't hold in anything. If I feel something on my chest, I gotta get it off, right? So I would always be like, oh, I know you see my text, like, why are you ignoring me, da 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 da. Like, I used to be one of those girls, and ew, it's so annoying. It's like very, just, nobody wants to deal with a person like that. I'm so sorry, I don't. That's what I don't, and I don't like being like that. So I really had to actively become aware of my thoughts and how I acted and behaved when somebody did something I didn't like not answer my text. Like, it's just like holding the door. They're not obligated to answer you. So you might think they are, but they're not. It is what it is. Don't take anything personally. You don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know what is going on right there in that moment when they receive that text. You don't know if their phone's dead or they don't like see their phone, they're not near it, it's charging. Like, you just don't know the circumstances. And the more you take things personally and you're really wrong about things, the more turmoil, the more confrontations you're gonna have. And it's just gonna be so much negativity in your life that you could have avoided if you had just waited. Or just didn't wait and like, fuck it, if they answer, you know? Not taking anything personally, I feel like I became way better at doing, because I always have to reevaluate myself. And when you're on your self-healing journey, you do have to reevaluate yourself in your wants and your needs and your behaviors all the time, because things change, circumstances change, people in your life change, and you always have to reevaluate what you want and what you actually need in that moment. But that is exactly why you shouldn't just assume that they are ignoring you or that they don't like you because they're not answering or whatever it may be. And that brings me to the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. I'm always making the assumptions. Always, always, always. I can give you a million examples. Very straightforward. Don't make assumptions. We all make assumptions every single day about random things. And we can easily avoid that if we just go to the stores, ask the question that we are assuming the answer to, and we can just clear it up right there. In the past, I have been at fault for this, making an assumption, and instead of going to the source, I would just be like, well, they're just gonna think like it's not a big deal. So I always just assumed like they weren't going to take it serious, or they would be like, oh, it's not a big deal, like whatever, you're tripping, or whatever, you're bugging, you're doing too much. So most of the time I would make the assumption because I'm like, they're just gonna say that I'm fucking crazy. But no, it doesn't matter if they think what they think. If you feel some type of way about something, or you're confused about something, don't just make the assumption because you know all the answers, you're too good to ask questions. No, because you don't know all the answers. You don't know what's going on, and if you're confused about something, no matter the situation, go to the source and ask the questions. Don't make assumptions. And if they think that, oh, you're tripping, you're bugging, honestly, they're in the wrong, because you can't say that my feelings aren't valid because you don't understand where I'm coming from. Of course you don't understand where I'm coming from. You haven't been through what I went through. You haven't been in the environments I've been in. You were raised by two parents. I was raised by one. You are close with your family. My family isn't close. Like, you know, there's so many other circumstances that come into play on why people feel the way they do. And I'm at fault for this too, you know? Like, sometimes you feel like the other person is like doing too much. They're crazy, or so-and-so and whatever. But it's like, no, their feelings are valid. And I still have to remind myself this all the time, because I am a very like hardcore person, and like, but I am still soft inside, but the outside of me is rock solid, and it's hard for me to be vulnerable. So when people are vulnerable with me, I just want to like shy away, like, oh my god, ew, like, get away from me, ew, 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 you know, like, ew feelings, you're crying, get away. But I really had to humble myself and kind of, I don't know, like, let the waterworks go. You know, let yourself feel what you're feeling. That shaky feeling that you do not want to feel, you have to. Because if not, you're always going to be on the defensive. I don't know, you just don't want to be like that. You don't want to be one of those people in the group, you know? You want to be very in tune with your emotions, in tune with yourself. secure in with yourself, you know? And if I have makeup on my hand, don't mind it. But that's one of the things that I've struggled in, trying not to just assume, trying to go right to the source. We can just all do our best, which brings me to the fourth agreement. Always do your best. It's easier said than done. Again, always doing your best is all that you can do. And some people might be like, well, my best always has to be at 100%. Or that's what doing your best means, being at 100%. No, wrong. Doing your best means in that situation, in that capacity, however you feel, as long as you feel like you're doing your 100% best, or your best, period, no percentages, then you're doing your best. For instance, if I go to work, I am sick, but I can't call out, right? I don't have the time, I don't have the PTO, my boss isn't having it. I gotta go to work. So I'm gonna do my best to work at the capacity that I can work in under those conditions, under the circumstances, like I'm sick. So all I can do is do my best. If doing your best is literally your 25% on a good day when you're feeling good, then that's your best. Doing your best is whatever you can do at that moment under the circumstances that you're under. And that's all you can do. And no one can tell you you're not doing your best but yourself. Your mom's at your soccer game and she's telling you you didn't do your best. Girl, how do you know? Are you in my body? Can you feel me? No? Okay then. Then I did my best. That's all you can do. And I have to say, those are the four things, no word of a lie. Those are the four things that I have came across that has helped me. And all the self-development books that I have read so far in this journey, those four things have helped me so much, because I didn't just read a book and was like, okay, I'm healed. No, whatever book I read, I always make notes in my notebook. Every important point that I want to know and remember, and if I know I'm fucking up, I'm gonna go back in that book and I'm gonna reread those important points, so I don't have to reread the whole book unless I want to. But so I can just always be at my best, always remember, like, cause you always have to remind yourself. You're not gonna remember all of the knowledge that you have learned over the years. So you all, like, it's very, very good to just keep like kind of like a tally point, which my tally point is my journal. It has helped me. My entire environment has changed. I'm in a whole different apartment than I was in a year ago. I have people or person by my side that I deeply love. I have people too, and soon, who knows? We may be across the country on a fucking elephant, but I try to stay positive no matter what I do. Very, very difficult to do that when things aren't going your way. You think they're not going your way, and it's hard. But every time I find myself thinking negatively, I just try to have gratitude, think about the things that I do have, because it could be worse. No matter what circumstance or position that you're in at the moment, it could always be worse. It could always be worse. But I always try to like be grateful for what I have and what I do experience. And dude, you're breathing. You can move all of your limbs. You can walk, okay? You can talk, you can taste, you can see, you can hear. That is by far, you're one of the most wealthiest people on earth right now. What do you mean? And you just have to think like that. This is my very first video that I'm doing like this. I was very skeptical on talking or speaking about, you know, my journey and like my spiritual path. And I don't want to go too much into the spiritual realm of things and what I believe in, because they can be controversial and I'm not a guru, okay? I'm just you just each other. We're trying to get through this life. I just figured, like, if people can look at you and see themselves through you, but also wonder how do you do it, why not share it, you know? So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below what you guys think and share your experiences with me. Make sure you like, comment, don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can see when I post. I know I've been gone, but I'm back. All right, I love you guys so much. Kisses, bye.